How do we know how bad it will get? So we all know that this past summer was the most extreme on record, and it's only going to get worse. If we don't bring our carbon dioxide emissions to net zero by 2030, we will exceed the IPCC target temperature increase of 1.5 degrees. Now, if we hit 2 degrees, we're looking at a meter of sea level rise, 500 million climate refugees, the complete destruction of coral reefs in ice-free Arctic, and the list goes on. And if the temperature goes higher, we're looking at something straight out of a zombie apocalypse film. Now, we hear these claims made often. It's bad, it's going to get worse unless we act, and we need to act fast. These are the facts, and we better get moving. But what I want to talk about is, how do we know how bad it's going to get? The key is consilience, or the convergence of evidence. Consilience is an idea developed by the 19th century philosopher of science William Whewell. And the idea is that when multiple independent lines of evidence point us in the same direction, the conclusions that they point to is very likely to be correct. Climate science has at least threefold consilience. First, there's consilience in the underlying physics. A range of models developed in the last 150 years, from extremely simple models that can be analyzed on paper to extremely complex models, they all teach the same lesson, that accumulation of carbon dioxide and methane in the atmosphere will raise the global mean temperature. A second consilience is a consilience in measurements of past and present climate records. Different samples and different techniques allow scientists to measure temperature and atmospheric carbon, and all of these research programs point in the same direction. There are at least 10 major independent research programs to measure temperature, and they all agree. Finally, there's consilience among the models used to make predictions about the future. These models are diverse and are of varying levels of complexity and make different approximations, but again, they all point in the same direction. They all say that we must reduce our carbon to net zero almost overnight. So we know how bad it will get because of consilience. Multiple independent lines of evidence all point in the same direction, and it doesn't look good for us unless we act fast. Thank you very much.